بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The discussion concerning pilgrimage is a fundamental discussion in religious thought, and a discussion which requires an in-depth examination, for it's a discussion which affects each and every one of our lives. A discussion from which many lessons may be learnt and many examples may be derived, and a discussion with a historical basis and a contemporary significance. Contemporary in the idea that each religion in the world today prides itself on its journeys towards the pilgrimage, a journey undertaken by millions of the followers of those religions who seek to find a sense of submission and a sense of discovery in their lives. Be it whether they go to Amritsar, whether they go to the Ganges River, be it whether they go to Jerusalem or they go to Lourdes, each one of these experiences is a movement within the life of the human being. Each feeling is a different feeling. Each experience is a unique experience. Each emotion is a unique emotion. And that's why you find when you examine the religion of Islam, the religion of Islam is no different to any other religion in that it has pilgrimages which are obligatory and pilgrimages which are recommended. Amongst the obligatory pilgrimages within the religion of Islam is the pilgrimage that is known as the Hajj. A pilgrimage which many are undertaken at the moment. About 2 to 3 million people may now be going towards Mecca. And the Hajj is a pilgrimage which is both individual as well as collective. Individual in the idea that the human being sets for themselves a certain amount of provisions to undertake this journey. And collective in the idea that you end up meeting people of different races, people of different tribes, and you meet them all in one white uniform, all before your Creator. The question arises, however, as to whether there is the same meaning within the hearts of many Muslims in the 21st century towards Hajj as was first envisaged by the Holy Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. In the idea that many Muslims return back from Hajj, and when reflecting upon Hajj, many of them now come forward and state that it didn't really change me. As in, I went there expecting myself to change, and now I've just come back into my normal way of life, back into a normal routine. You'll find many of them who come back wishing that they had been inspired by the journey. Many who return feel a sense of chaos, as if they haven't achieved that which they wanted to achieve. And you find, for example, many who, when you speak with them about Hajj, you'll find many who, when they speak about the Hajj, don't speak in terms of a spiritual elevation. You'll find somebody who's gone to Hajj, for example, because of cultural pressure. My family have all gone, the community is looking at me, I'm the only one who hasn't gone, so I might as well go. You'll have others who might go towards Hajj because out of fear of hell or because they want heaven. Yet there are very few who actually go to Hajj because of that reasoning that we feel we will develop on this journey. To the extent, I remember some people in the group in the year we went to Hajj actually commenting on them looking forward to having a Whopper from a halal Burger King. And you'll find that there are some who have such thinking that we can't wait to see Mecca towers, or we can't wait to see the Hilton outside the Haram, rather than looking at Hajj as a spiritual experience. And this particular factor affected Dr. Ali Shariati more than anybody. Why? Because to Dr. Ali Shariati, he felt that many people who had gone to Hajj were not spiritually understanding each movement within the journey of Hajj. Dr. Ali Shariati was born in 1933 and he died in 1977 at the tender age of 44 in Southampton, England. He is revered by many as being one of the greatest Muslim thinkers of the 20th century. In the idea that he's placed alongside people such as Sad, people such as Mutahari, people such as Iqbal, in being one of the intellectuals of the century. His background in terms of his education was both Eastern and Western. Eastern in that he had studied in the city of Mashhad within Iran, and Western in that he had studied at the Sorbonne in Paris. And at the Sorbonne in Paris, he studied under two influential thinkers. One was Jean-Paul Sartre, and the second one was Louis Massignon. One was a philosopher, the second was a historian. Jean-Paul Sartre was so affected by his student that he commented on him by saying, I don't follow a religion, but if I followed a religion, I'd follow Shariati. Because to him, Shariati was a thinker out of the box. Shariati would question the conventional ideas. He'd question what he saw as dogmas which lacked spirituality. And that's why when you read many of the works of Shariati, you'll find that even the titles of his works are controversial. It's as if Shariati felt frustrated by the way the Muslims were acting out many of their practices. As an example, one of his famous works is called A Glance at Tomorrow's History. To some, that's a paradox. How could you look at tomorrow's history? But to Shariati, his aim in writing that work was what? He said that many of us can change history, yet too many of us are just simple actors in history. He wanted people to reflect on their position within historical circles. He said that there are many who are the educated classes, and there are some who are the working classes. But there is a middle class which is known as the class which changes society. He wrote A Glance at Tomorrow's History. He wrote a book called Fatima is Fatima. Why did he write this book? He said because there's too many people, when they examine Fatima, they examine her as the daughter of the Prophet, or they examine her as the wife of Ali. Yet Fatima is Fatima. She achieved her greatness because of her own right. Why is it that many focus on who she's related to, and not many people focus on her stand against oppression? He wrote a work called Red Shi'ism versus Black Shi'ism. With the Black Shi'ism being the type of followers of the school of AhlulBayt who simply follow culture. In Muharram they wear black, the rest of the year they wear white. There isn't really a revolutionary figure or a revolutionary blood within them. The Black Shi'ism is the more cultural Shi'ism. The Red Shi'ism to Shariati was the Husseini revolutionary Shi'ism. When Shariati would write, he'd write in a very revolutionary manner. And that's why to some he is seen as controversial in his works. As an example, you notice that Shariati postulated much of his work on Hajj, which we're about to discuss. He postulated all his theories at a Husayniyah called Husayniyat Irshad. Husayniyat Irshad until today is in Tehran. If you go to Tehran, you'll find it there. And that was a Husayniyah which had a special meaning in changing the thinking of Iranian society especially. Why? Because they named it Husayniyah Irshad. Husayniyah being a place where you gather to remember Hussein. Irshad meaning the place of guidance. It was begun by Mutahhari. Mutahhari was of the clerical class who used to wear the turbans. Shariati used to wear a suit and was clean shaven when he'd lecture. When Mutahhari began that place, he recognized that there were many people who were being frustrated with the same lectures being repeated over and over again. So what Mutahhari said was, let us begin an Islamic center where we actually look at different aspects of Islam from a completely new angle. They asked him, who do you want to bring to lecture? He said, bring Dr. Ali Shariati. They said to him, what do you mean? You're a cleric of the traditional classes. Ali Shariati gives lectures while wearing suits. Ali Shariati is somebody who's clean shaven. Ali Shariati doesn't look like the stereotypical religious figure. Why do you want to bring him? He replied, Ali Shariati's way of explaining things is unique. And that Ali Shariati speaks in a way which could attract a certain group of people who I can't attract. And therefore, when he brought him to the Husayniyah, he gave some of the greatest lectures in the history of Iranian schools of Islam. And that when you look at those lectures, these lectures were given a few years before the revolution took place. And to many, including the Ayatollah, this revolution would not have taken place were it not for the help of Shariati. When Shariati came, he would come and explain Islam from a different angle. And in his series of lectures on Hajj, he looked at a particular angle which he felt was being neglected. What was it? He wrote in the beginning of his lectures on Hajj that I have written this after having been to Hajj on 3 occasions. I've been to Hajj 3 times. and I've had a tour of Mecca once. He said, when I've gone to Hajj, something clicked inside me which needs to be understood.